And once you realise what's happened, it's a very difficult one to digest. If you have been scammed by any of these people, then obviously contact your bank immediately and they will start to try and reclaim your money for you. One of the simplest ways to do that is next to the power in lead, there's the power button. Just switch it off, your router goes dead and all your devices will not be accessed anymore. No one is monitoring the internet to look at what you're doing or not doing. And at this stage, they'll show you, again, fake information on the screen to gain your confidence. So one of the most common ways they get you is that they actually pretend to be from, say, Microsoft or other companies such as this. It turns out they stole £9,000 out of his own account and then started to steal money out of another account while they had access to the system. I'm John Triner. I own and run HomeTech. I've been in the industry some 35 years plus. I've been working for many companies, national and local, and continue to run HomeTech as a small operation, but we're looking to obviously expand out, and going forward we hope to help many more people in the future. So today we're going to cover the top 5 reasons people call us and some of the fixes which you can employ yourself to fix your own PC. So one of the things that people call us about is when the screen comes back on, it's blank, but sometimes you can also see the cursor. This often happens after an update process. And there are 2 solutions here. Firstly, you can try and just restart the computer, which may work. You press Ctrl, Alt and Delete, and this changes the screen to this, showing the actual power symbol in the right-hand corner. Press that and go to click on the restart, and that will force the PC to restart as you would normally do through the Windows icon. It may then come back on properly. If this does not work, however, then what you may have to do is force a full power shutdown. A power shutdown cycle is this: you hold the power button down for 10 seconds, at least 10 seconds. The screen will go blank first, but keep your finger on the button while you do so. Once you've done this, you then power it back on normally. This often clears the problem. So they often look like this on the screen. The way to solve this is to actually go back through the settings on Google Chrome through the 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots, you then select down to Settings. On Settings, you then go to Privacy and Security, and from there you select Site Permissions. Go to Site Permissions, and then what you can do is change the permissions on those ones you've allowed to come through to block them. Once blocked, they should not appear again for you. The third thing we'll look at is PCs running slow. This is often at startup and can often be very frustrating for many customers. The main issue here is usually around an older PC. It can be new equipment, but usually around older PCs that employ older technology. This uses a hard drive, which is an electromechanical device, which after ages it starts to slow down and actually becomes very, very slow to process. They become corrupt. The resolution here is to replace that drive with what's called a solid-state drive. Think of this as a large USB. There's no moving parts with it and therefore much more efficient to run. To do this, we either clone over the information from the old drive to the new, which keeps everything intact for you, or we can take the data down and transfer it over afterwards once we've rebuilt the PC and restore the data. The latter is somewhat more troublesome, for the programs cannot be reinstalled this way, but only by yourselves. They won't transfer. The cost of doing this usually is about £165, including the VAT and parts and labour, and this can therefore be a very cost-effective way of improving an older PC for you. The physical differences are shown on the screen. Okay. The next one to look at is printer not working, a very frustrating element of life today. This often affects Wi-Fi printers rather than plugged-in printers, of course. So the usual issue here is that you'll go to print something and on the screen it will say the printer is offline. This is often to do with settings in the network area. So your setting will probably be public rather than private. Public is used though when the setting is when you are, say, at McDonald's. It effectively stops people seeing your PC or you're seeing anybody else's. It also stops people from actually accessing devices on the network as well. However, when you're working from home, you want it on a private network. This setting enables every device on the network to see each other, and such so that you can actually talk to them, as it were. So to change this, you go to select your settings from the Windows icon, select Network and Internet, as it's shown on the screen, and then go to Wi-Fi or Ethernet, depending upon your internet connection type. On this screen, you'll then see that it says Android. On my screen, it will say your Wi-Fi network, it will say BT or etc. When on internet connection, click on the Wi-Fi or Ethernet settings from where it says it is connected, and then check that the network profile is set to private. Private being home, public being at McDonald's, etc., and where you don't want to see everything. Change the preference to use private so you can see a connection to your home printer, and this will resolve your problem. Okay, the next thing we'll look at is blank screen, or blue screen of death as it used to be particularly called. So this will happen when the actual operating system will not start up the PC properly and the system has crashed. If you go through the process of repairing it through the system, you'll probably find it will not complete the repair. This can occur for several reasons, the main ones being a failed hard drive or a failure to complete a Windows update. So the blank screen of death, or blue screen of death even, this is where the operating system has failed to start up properly as a system crash. If you go through the process of trying to resolve the repair, probably it will not complete the repair through the system. It doesn't always do it. This can occur for several reasons, the main ones being a failed hard drive or failure to complete a Windows update. The data on the drive is usually intact, however the operating system part of this has failed. The only real solution here is to do a clean install and then try and transfer the data back over. This is not always guaranteed, of course. The drive itself can often fail in such a way that the information is lost completely. So the system will sometimes ask you if you want to reset the PC. The problem here is if you reset it, you can often lose your data and programs. So the best resolution here would probably be to install a new drive, transfer the data over and reinstall the programs one by one. So today we're going to look at home networks. In its simplest form, a home network is just a home router, such as this device here. So this will actually give out your broadband signal from your broadband provider, and it's a single device delivering Wi-Fi around the home. However, in the ever-increasing world of internet usage, there are requirements depending upon the home layout that you have. You may need to extend the range of your home network. So this can be done in a number of ways. The range extender unit, this is a single device which can actually be used to extend the signal from the original Wi-Fi from here. So what you do is you plug it into the mains, you connect the two devices via WPS, and then you move the second device to somewhere halfway between where you need it and the router. This does rely on the actual router to send the signal in the first place and pick it up and resend it to the next area. The next device to look at is what's called home plug devices. These particular devices are very good. So what these do is one of these devices plugs into the router. That device then goes into the main socket, picks up and sends over the actual internet signal for you. And then this device would plug in at the other end and pick the signal back up and send it to the TV or PC that you have connected to it. These are a very solid piece of kit and work very well. They're very easy to install. The next device I want to talk about is also uses the main circuit to extend the range. However, on this one, you've got actual Wi-Fi extension to it as well. So what will happen here is you'll do the same thing with this type of device. You would plug this one in to the mains, and then the Wi-Fi part of it would plug in the mains elsewhere and pick up the signal again. You can also use that device to send out the same broadcast signal as your original router. So it can actually be the same information and password, so you don't have to start resetting everything all the time. Okay, the next type of device that you can use around a larger property is something called a mesh device. This usually uses 3 devices, and they all talk to each other. So what you would do from your router is you would connect the first device to it, the master device. That will then be plugged in. That will then pick up the signal from the router. It will send out its own Wi-Fi signal, which will then talk to these two, which will then connect the mesh. So effectively, you will have 3 devices talking to each other throughout your property. This creates a very stable Wi-Fi network. There's only one slight downside to this system, and that is if you have a wireless printer, it may not operate, shall we say, reliably across the network. But okay, it does work, and they are very good for what they do if you're just using PCs, etc. So welcome to the Home Tech Show. Today we'll look at the fake call scammers, how you can avoid them. The reason most people get caught out by scammers is that they're taken off guard. Quite often they've just returned home from holiday, something's happened in the family, maybe even a death in the family, and or recently even moved house. So how do these scammers operate and how can you avoid them? So one of the most common ways that they get you is that they actually pretend to be from, say, Microsoft or other companies such as this. Be aware though that people like Microsoft will never call you, never even ring you about your PC because they don't even know you've got one. Okay, so the first part of the call is that they will explain to you that your PC is giving out viruses and that they need to solve this because the internet is getting flooded with them from your PC. And so the conversation will go like this. Okay, please switch on your computer so that we can start to check what's actually happening and why you're sending out viruses to the internet. Once you've switched on your PC, they'll guide you through the process of downloading something such as AnyDesk or TeamViewer in order to gain access to your PC. Now the next move, once they have control, is to say something along the lines of, please bear with me while I scan your system for viruses and check the operating system to see how you've been compromised. All while they're doing this is to keep you on the phone. The longer they keep you on the phone, they'll gain your trust and ultimately seek to scam you. They'll then say something along the lines of, your PC is definitely having issues. You then say something along the lines of, your PC is definitely having issues. You will see on the screen the viruses that I've found so far. Here they will have installed fake antivirus software and will be displaying lots of viruses which will be fake. They'll ask you, of course, if you want these clearing, and you will want them clearing. They'll then say something along the lines of, this will be normally £250, but for today I'll do it for you £199. I can do it straight away for you. This type of comment is to pressure you into making a decision and paying them. They'll then move to the next phase of this scam. They'll move to this by saying something along the lines of, now I've cleaned your PC up for you, would you like me to set up remote support so you no longer have a problem like this in the future? And offer you for something like £399 for 5 years. This of course just adds to their wallet and gives them more credence. Again, they may offer you a discount for this, but do remember that the call was fake, the viruses are fake, the support is fake. And if you give them the card details, you'll find that unfortunately you'll be paying more than just your PC repair. So how to counter these scammers? What to do? If anyone calls you out the blue saying that your PC is giving out viruses, put the phone down on them. Tell them you don't even have a PC. They don't know. If you do start going down the road of letting them have access to your PC, but then realise it's a scam, the thing to do is to actually disconnect your router. One of the simplest ways to do that is next to the power in lead was the power button. Just switch it off, your router goes dead, and all your devices will not be accessed anymore. If you have made a payment to them, contact your bank immediately and advise them what's happened. They will seek to recover your money for you if they can and block any future payments. They may, of course, advise blocking your current card and issuing a new one to you. And remember, these people, these scammers, do this for a living, so never feel you've done anything wrong. They do this day in, day out. They're thieves. They're like any burglar. They just do it all from a distance and steal from there. Another type of scam starts with a fake virus being shown on your screen. This will say, probably with a voiceover as well, that basically you need to call a number in order to get support and get it removed. The number on the screen here is fake, the number on there is fake as well. But just understand that do not call these people. So again here, if you do happen to call them because you think you need to solve it, they will follow the same script as other scammers. They will load up software onto your PC, they will show you more viruses on there, and they will then try and steal your money by getting a card payment from you to resolve the problem. And again, the conversation will go along the lines of, please bear with me while I scan your PC, and I will show you what's happening with the system. And all the while they're doing this and keeping you on the phone, they're seeking to gain your trust again. And they're seeking to keep you on the phone longer and longer, so they wear you down. They will gain your trust and continue with their story. And at this stage, they'll show you, again, fake information on the screen to gain your confidence, to show you what they think is happening and what they want you to think is happening. So at this stage, they've got access to your PC, they've shown you false information on the screen, false antivirus, and they're scaring you into making a decision. And they want you to pay them money for it. So they'll say something along the lines of, the cost of resolving this today is normally £250, but we can discount it if you want to do it straight away, say for £199. Once they've done this, they'll then look to actually extend that warranty or support for you, which is all fake of course, and ask you if you want to have more support in the future. They'll offer you it, say, for £399, and then say they might discount it. But again, it's all fake. All this is fake. And if you have given them details to them for your card, please be aware it'll be more than your PC repair you're paying for. So how do you fix this fake virus on the screen that we started talking about in the first place? And how do you do it for yourself without having to pay them? So on your keyboard, you press the Control, Alt and Delete buttons all together and the screen will change to this. You then click on Task Manager and this will show what's running for you. If you can see Google running, Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, it'll be one of these two that's got the virus showing, but it is a fake virus. All you need to do is click on either of those and then click End Task and it will shut the virus simulation down. Do make a note though which browser it was that was showing the problem. You need to go into the history file and clear the history from that browser. So here we're going to look at fake money and how the scammers get you to believe that either they owe you or you owe them some money. It's probably one of the most sophisticated scams there is. And it starts with a call out the blue, even from Amazon, Microsoft, or even possibly your bank sometimes, or broadband provider. I've known it before. And what they'll say is that you're probably due a refund and they want to make sure that it goes into your account. So the scam here is actually to gain access to your bank account, show you the fake transfer, and then to start to remove all the money from your accounts that they have access to. This scam happens more than you'd think, and to the scammers it's very profitable. They will keep you on the phone for hours to do this scam, and once you realise what's happened, it's a very difficult one to digest. But please be aware, you've done nothing wrong. These people do it for a living. So once they've gained access to your PC, they'll want to show you that they've actually put some money into your account that they owed you. They'll probably then suggest to you that they put the wrong amount of money in, show you again a false screen, and explain to you that if you don't get it right, they'll obviously get the sack. But all the while, they'll be moving money from your account to theirs. This type of scam, obviously above all others really, leaves a real bad taste for people, for customers, because it involves thousands of pounds being stolen. If you have been scammed by any of these people, then obviously contact your bank immediately and they will start to try and reclaim your money for you. So how do you beat these scammers? Well, when they first call you up, try and avoid obviously entering into the conversation with them. Easier said than done sometimes. If you're unsure, ask them if you can call them back, but do it from a different phone. There used to be a way that they could actually lock the line so when you call back you went directly to them. Not so common now because not so many people have landlines. And again, please contact your bank if you've been scammed in this way. So in summary, no one knows you have a PC. No one is monitoring the internet to look at what you're doing or not doing. Fake viruses that pop up are not true viruses. Get it resolved yourself, as we've said, or by someone local. Never allow anybody on your PC, especially while you're viewing your bank account details. And remember, these people do it for a living. When it happens, you've done nothing wrong. You've been scammed. That's what they're there to do. So in terms of scams and real life events, one of our customers, we'll call him John for the sake of being John, he unfortunately initially got scammed by a company explaining to him that they'd put his broadband provider, explained that they needed to refund some money to him. So they went online with him, made sure they put the £50 into his account, showed it went through, and then rang back and said, oh, accidentally they'd transferred £5,000 and they need to get it back. Again, because otherwise they'd lose their job. So John goes along with this just to obviously think that he's doing the right thing for somebody. It turns out they stole £9,000 out of his own account and then started to steal money out of another account while they had access to the system. Eventually he realised what was going on and switched off his computer and disconnected the actual system and called us in to have a look at it for him. And by the way, during these sort of processes, when you contact your bank, etc., they'll ask you to have your PC swept to make sure there's nothing on it. No remote software, no viruses actually within it. Always best to do so if this happens to you. John did eventually get his money back, fortunately, through the banking service and systems that are now in place. It doesn't always happen that way. And of course, it doesn't counter for all the stress and discomfort that John went through during that process. So let's touch on viruses and computer viruses, shall we say, in terms of ransomware. You'll have heard the term ransomware and WannaCry with regards to the NHS that got infected. So these things happen because people click on an email that comes to them and probably just a link that opens up into the background of the system. It sort of worms its way in, and that is the term used in the industry, a worm, that then infects more computers. This can bring the systems down and the whole areas of the business down. So the thing to do, if you're not sure who the email's from, you're not sure what the link's for or what the invoice is for, which is quite often how they disguise these things, then delete it. Don't open it and just remove it. And always run a good antivirus on your system and always check it through afterwards to make sure it's clear. A recommended antivirus from ourselves is Avast, as we're partners with them. And being in a partnership with an antivirus company such as this gives us insight into their business and gives us contact to them should we have a problem for any of our customers. So thank you for watching the Home Tech Show. I hope you found some of the information valuable. I hope you can pass it on and use it to your family and friends. And don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. If you have any questions, we'll be back.